You
Yeah.
wrote, I have my notebook here, but you got journals, right?
I do.
So can you talk about how you use journals in your process and
Yeah, journals for me is like, it's really just going back to the earliest memory to the page one of the script. And it's really defining, who these guys are, who they are when nobody's looking, when nobody's around, how they think, how they look at certain things. So I'll write, things down from things that me and Ryan talked about. Like mutually agreed things, like things that happen throughout their lives. Then it's like a day in the life of, like, what do you do today?
Yeah.
What was it like when they were in Chicago going on this run?
Yeah.
And imagining this type of like, he had to put a hit on somebody. How would they move in a certain environment? What was an interaction between Smoke and Stack that allowed them to get into trouble or get out of it? Like little things like that. I would just imagine and play around with it and start writing things down. And then as I start to find out more information around, Mary or Annie, I would incorporate those things into it. And then I'll play around with, what was it like, when he found out he was going to be a dad? Probably one of the scariest and happiest days, what I'm saying, of a lot of pain throughout his life.
Yep. And
then, oh man, consequences. What does that mean? What does that mean for my brother? What does that mean for our lives moving forward? Dang, is Andy gonna want this out of me? Is there an expectation for that? Now I gotta tell my brother this, I gotta tell.
So you wrote all this out?
Yeah, these are things these are like different
for
like
each
threads.
Of them.
Yeah, and that really just helped me always have a base of where I'm coming from, and we talked about Smoke, told Stack to tell, Mary to get out of here, you know what I'm saying?